Hey, good morning. Welcome to a tardy version of Morning Coffee with Sandy, coming to you from beautiful Hermosa Beach, California, which you cannot see for some reason, but you just have to take my word for it. It is another gorgeous day at the beach. Yes, it is. Um, Once again, we were blocked from Facebook. I still don't know why. Um, it seems like Ginny thinks it might have something to do with the music. I don't know. I have no notice, no explanation. But thank goodness YouTube is kind enough to host us once again. Mm. So, in all the time I've been doing morning coffee, I have never been more than a minute or two late. And even when I was sick in bed, I did it from bed, right? But yesterday morning and this morning, there is no way I was getting up to say good morning that early. Nope, stayed in bed for a few extra hours and makes a huge difference. That's all I can tell you. Oh, and this morning, instead of going for coffee, Indy made some French press with our Italian roast Starbucks coffee. Tastes fantastic. Mm. I'm not really sure what's going on with the lighting behind me. It seems to be that the sky is just doing its thing. So last night was the big gala for the school that I started 50 years ago. I had such a good time. I can't even tell you. I was awarded this beautiful, what do you call it? A trophy? I don't know. But it says on the 50th anniversary of Tuvia Preschool, we honor me for my innovation and dedication to the children of the community. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, I think so. Oh, look, Katie's here. Good morning, Katie. If I show her, she'll only punch me in the face. But Katie wasn't with me last night. Katie is my almost daughter-in-law who I'm staying with. We call this place Shay, Mike, and Katie because it's like staying at a hotel. She couldn't be with me, so instead, Indy, could you bring those over? We brought her one of the centerpieces. Wait a minute.
Gorgeous.
Here it is. Aren't they pretty?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
How do you take it home?
No, we're not taking it home. This is for
Oh,
you.
you take that home.
I'm glad you're here though, because the next story I'm going to tell is about the wine you so kindly gave us
wonderful.
last night. Oh, by the way, this was the program, and they even did cookies to match the program. We brought some home for Mike and Katie, but you know what? One of them got a little smashed. I think Katie should eat the good one and just tell Mike we saved one for him. But look, isn't that cute? See, they did their logo on the cookies. I think it was a great idea. And in each place there was one of the How to Be Happy books from me. It was just, it was a lovely evening. And in this book, wait, I don't know if I can find it that fast or if you'll even be able to see it. Oh yeah, here's one of them. If you look very closely, you'll see that this is Romper Room, and that's Miss Marianne. But standing next to Miss Marianne is Miss Sandy. Yeah, I was on Romper Room a lot back in those days. What can I tell you? All right, so here's my favorite story from the evening. Just as we were getting ready to go, it occurred to me that I only drink Pinot Noir, and they might not have Pinot Noir for me at this party. So I sent an urgent message to the person in charge, and I said, Jordan, it occurred to me that you might not have Pinot Noir for me, and that's all I drink. Is there going to be any Pinot Noir there tonight? Or, if possible, is it all right if I just bring my own? So she wrote back and she said there'd be wine, but it wasn't going to be that good. So it was okay if I wanted to bring my own. And rather than go get some, Katie offered me an absolutely fabulous bottle of Pinot Noir, which Indy carried into the party with us, and we gingerly set it on our table once we found out where we were going to be sitting. And then we went around to say hello to people and kind of, schmooze a little bit. We came back to the table, and Indy says to me, um, It's gone. I said, What's gone? He said, Our wine is gone. And in its place were these two bottles of very inexpensive red and white wine. I thought, well, that's not right. So I went to the kitchen. where the crew was working to get dinner ready. And I said, "Excuse me, but you guys put 2 bottles of wine on our table and you took my good bottle of wine. I want my wine back." And they looked all over and they said, "We didn't pick up any wine." So we started checking the other tables. And sure enough, Donnie, my daughter, found our wine now open, sitting on a table 2 tables away. Table eight stole our wine. Can you believe that?
That is my lucky number, though.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, they stole.
So they must have known.
They must have known. Katie says it's her lucky number. They stole our wine. And I shouldn't even say who was sitting at the table, should I?
Tell what you did next. You had to go check and see who was at the table. You went and checked the list.
I did. So I went and had a big list of who was sitting at which table. And yeah, to help find your seat. So I went over and I looked at the list of the people who were sitting at table 8. And I don't even want to tell you who it was, but let's just say it was the least likely group of people that you would expect to be stealing someone else's wine. That's it. I'm not saying anymore.
There have been 2 rabbis at the table?
There might have been a couple of rabbis at the table. I don't know. But I don't think they had anything to do with it.
Probably not.
I'm going to go with that. Anyway, we stole our wine back and enjoyed it for the rest of the evening. It was really good.
Wait, were they sitting there? And you
No, they weren't
didn't
sitting
have to
there.
have a conversation
No, I had
there?
no
You just
confrontation.
snapped it back?
I just snatched back my wine and it was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, there were people who came by and noticed that we were drinking some finer wine and it was really good. They did have champagne when we first arrived, so I did have a glass of
You
champagne.
did also donate a glass of the wine to the service.
Oh yeah, and then I made this big mistake. They were having like a little service before we ate, and part of the service is blessing the wine. So they have this big wine cup and they do a blessing and then they pass it around and everybody up and on the stage has a little sip of it. And it was dark. And the rabbi looked in the cup and said, "Oh, there's no wine. We need some wine." And our table was closest to the stage. So thinking I was grabbing the table wine, I grabbed the good wine. And yeah, so they enjoyed the good wine too. That's not a bad thing, right? It was fun. But there was music and dancing. The comedian was quite good. I never even saw the magician. Did you, Indy?
He was in the crowd doing a little close-up.
I never even noticed him. The food was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was nothing to write home about. It was typical big event food. There was lots of it. It sucked, but there was lots of it. No. However, at our table, there were 2 vegetarians. That was a problem. And my daughter has some eating requirements and they couldn't meet those, but they did make her a giant salad. So that was good. Anyway, we had a lovely time. I saw some people I hadn't seen in 40 years or 30 years and some good hugs and some good laughs and some old stories and pictures of some of my students all grown up. That part was really fun for me. And then I recognized a name, a last name, and it was the same name as my boyfriend from the 5th grade. So I thought, I had to go find out if they're related. I mean, it's the same community. They might be related. And I kind of made a mental note to check later and see if that person, was related to the person I knew. But then a few minutes later, I was standing around talking and I looked across from me and it was just like looking at his face. It was unbelievable. What, you have a picture of it?
No, not of that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it turned out to be his nephew, but it looked just like him when he was a kid. So we had a great conversation. This is a picture, by the way, of me and Normie Norma when they gave us our trophies. Yeah, I don't know what else to call them. And we got to, thanks, Indy. And then we got to share a little bit about how the school began. I did show the real one. Yeah, I did. Okay, that's all. It's, by the way, it's Pay Back a Friend Day. And I don't know if that's money or compliments or love, but you owe somebody something. I know you do. We all do. Today is the day. Yeah, today is the day. Make that call, make that visit, send that check. Do that favor. You know what to do. Okay. Pay back a friend day. It's also National Pasta Day, so you know what to have for dinner. I'm making your day so easy. And it is Wear Something Gaudy Day. Yeah. So now I've told you what to wear, what to eat, and what to do. Your day is finished. Now you can have a very calm, relaxing Sunday, right? Okay, but until you remember that today is the anniversary of the 1989 big earthquake in. I'm not showing that picture. Okay, maybe I will. People will love this. Indy took a picture of me getting ready for the gala. What do you think? Huh? Huh? You wish you were here to see it in person, don't you? Okay, I'm going to tell a little story on myself. You see that thing on my face?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
I'd never done that before. You know, those like masks, yeah, face masks that are supposed to make you look young and beautiful. I thought, oh, that'd be fun. I'll do one of those. I'm so glad Katie was here because I opened it up. I read the instructions and I opened it up and it said, remove the paper from the mask. So I removed the paper from the mask. I threw away the paper and I tried to put on this plastic mask until Katie started laughing at me and said, you put the other part on. Okay, so now if I ever do this again, at least now I know what to do, right? Okay, so I did a bad job. It happens. Anyway, yeah, there I was 50 years later, and it was just fun. Okay, I moved on from that already. Happy birthday to the singing nun. Dominique, Nika, Nika, blah, 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 blah. That was the number one song, Dominique. She was awesome. And I'm sorry, but Sally Field as the singing nun, she was my idol anyway. Yeah. What else? Evil Knievel's birthday. He died in 2007. Probably died doing what he loved doing. Oh, Margot Kidder. Do you remember her? She was Lois Lane in Superman. I know a lot of you guys are my Canadian friends. She was Canadian. Did you know that? And for a while, she dated Trudeau. Yeah, she did. She dated Pierre Trudeau. She died in 2018. I think she had some. Oh, if I lean forward, you can see my face. Cool. I just leaned forward. It got dark again. I don't know. I'll try leaning forward. Also, happy birthday to Irene Ryan. You remember her, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies? Yeah, she taught us so much about getting old, didn't she? I don't know why it's doing that, Stephen, and I'll try moving it another way. Let's see if this is any better. On this day in 1967, it was a very good year. Hair opened not on Broadway, but off Broadway. And it wasn't until the following April that it made it to Broadway, but it was on Broadway for 1,750 shows for 4 years. And I think I told you, Indy and I were in San Diego last month. Last month? We saw Hair at the old Globe Theater. Yeah, it was about a month ago. And the coolest thing about it was, you know, it is COVID time. So we had to wear masks, but they gave us tie-dyed masks to wear before we went into the theater, which was Old Globe and an outdoor theater. So we felt really safe, but we had tie-dye masks to go with Hair. Oh, you know what else? Today was the day in I want to say 1960. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yep, 1960. It was that big quiz show scandal. So those of you who are like, you know, born in the 50s or before will remember this whole thing. Those of you who weren't might have even heard about it. There was this scandal with it was the with Charles Van Doren. What was the name of that show? It wasn't You Bet Your Life. It was the $64,000 question. That's what it was. The $64,000 question. It wasn't that different from the shows we have now. They'd ask you a question. You had, you know, it was kind of like Jeopardy. except that it was just the questions and you had to know the answer, and they'd put you in this little booth and it was dun 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 dun. I don't know, the time thing, and then they'd ask you for the answer, and you could win up to $64,000, which was an enormous amount of money back then, right? Because this was like in 1960. Anyway, the show wasn't getting good ratings.
The show originated in 1941.
It started in 1941 on the radio, though, right?
CBS.
CBS radio, I think. We didn't have television in 1941. Had to be radio. Anyway, it was on television in 1960.
1955, you're right.
55 to TV, okay? So this guy, the ratings were going down. So the producers of the show said, hey, let's script this instead. We'll give them some of the answers, make the show a little more interesting. But they didn't tell anyone they were doing it. And when asked, they denied it. So they actually had this guy blow the answer, even though he knew it, and they paid him off for doing it to make Charles Van Doren the next champion, right? And then they gave him the answers to the questions. So he ended up winning like $125,000 or something, which in today's money is over $1 million. And he was asked, he was went before a judge and he swore he didn't get the answers in advance and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, a year later, maybe more, that the guy they paid off for giving a wrong answer admitted that they were given answers and told what to do. It was a huge scandal. Huge, huge, huge. It's over now. You can relax.
Did they have to pay the money back?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he went to, I want to say he went to jail, but I don't remember. I might have made that up. But yeah, I mean, but it should have been the TV people who went to, yeah, because they're the ones who started the whole thing.
Two more bits of trivia about that. But
Yeah.
who's the sponsor?
The sponsor was,
You'll get a kick out of this.
who was the sponsor?
Revlon.
Revlon was the sponsor.
And it was filmed at CBS TV Studio 52 in New York, which later became the Disco Theater Studio 54.
No kidding. Studio 54 was like, that was like a big deal. I mean, that was some pretty sleazy dance stuff going on back in the day in New York. Studio 54 was a hot place to go.
That's where they did the $64,000 question.
In 2007, Joey Bishop died. He was born in like 1918. I mean, he was already old. Joey Bishop.
Wait, one more
What?
thing.
Wait, what?
The first woman to win the $64,000?
Yeah?
Joyce Brothers.
Are you serious? What, was she like anybody then? Does it say?
She became famous in 55 for winning the top prize.
Joyce Brothers, Dr. Joyce Brothers, who was never my favorite psychologist to begin with, apparently was the first woman to win on the $64,000 question. And that's how she became well known, for being really smart. But if Indy's any indication, also, psychologists must just be smart. That's all I know. Not necessarily so to be a member of the Rat Pack, however, which Joey Bishop was. And my favorite Joey Bishop line was, he was a Jewish guy, but he said he was not particularly religious because he knew he would never become a rabbi, because who would take Rabbi Bishop seriously? I thought that was a good line. Okay, so why am I mentioning him? Because he had a talk show, and his Ed McMahon, his sidekick, was none other. This is back in the day, by the way, when you didn't know who Regis Philbin was. Regis Philbin was his sidekick, and I think he was kind of a jerk even back then. I never liked Regis Philbin. Not a fan, not a fan. But they filmed it in LA, and I was a big Joey Bishop fan. So a number of times, a bunch of us would get tickets and go down and watch the filming. That was another thing that was cool about growing up in Southern California. We used to be able to get tickets and go watch the filming of different TV shows, and that was always fun. In 1991, I like this. He was born in 1919 and he died in 1991. There's a lot of 19s and 1s and 9s in there. Was Tennessee Ernie Ford, who, as far as I can tell, other than being like having a variety show or something. I don't think you ever really did anything except you have the deepest voice in the world. And here we go. This is the song that I loved that he did. But I have to lower my voice to do it. You ready for this, Indy? 16 tons, and what do you get?
Careful.
Another day older and deeper in debt.
Are you playing
Saint
the record?
Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. How about that, huh?
Was that the record?
No, that was not the record. I don't have rights to play the record, but I can sing whatever I darn well please, can't I?
True.
No? I can't even sing it. They're gonna knock me off of YouTube now. Oh, I don't know. Ginny, thanks for doing some checking into why they have blocked me from Facebook. I still can't find anything even about that. And each time they block me from doing Facebook Live, it says, "Do you agree with this?" And each time I say no, but they don't give me an opportunity to say why or ask why. I'm very confused. If there's a Facebook expert out there, tell me, will you please? Why have they knocked me off of Facebook? All I'm doing is having coffee with my friends every morning. There are 1,100 of you out there who belong to What Do I Say, What Do I Do? And I know there aren't more than a dozen or so on the morning coffee live. Anyway, I don't know why they're doing it. Teresa Brewer. She was a 50s singer. She died in 2007. And I have a song that I really liked that she did. And I don't know if somebody else brought it back later or not, because it's strange that I would remember this song so well. This was the song she did. I got along without you before I met you, gonna get along without you now. My honey, my honey, gonna get along without you now. But I don't know. I liked her. Did somebody else do that song? I don't know. Um, Mother Teresa got the Nobel Peace Prize today in 1979. Well deserved. I know Tracy, if you're out there, I know you and I hold her like right up there as our favorite ladies. I also like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah. There are a few ladies I really like, but Mother Teresa, come on. She was a saint. Oh, yeah, that's right. She was a saint. I remember now. Um, Not to be confused with Rita Hayworth, who was the love goddess. Yeah. This is also the day years ago, 1968, when the movie Bullet came out with Steve McQueen. Do you remember? You may not have been around to see it when it first came out, but I'd be willing to bet everybody who's looking today is watching this has seen that iconic car chase in San Francisco. That's in the movie Bullet. And if you ever just want to watch the most amazing car chase ever filmed, watch Bullet. Seriously, get it. It's on Netflix, it's on Amazon. You can get it. It's no big deal. Okay, 1964. Diddy talk about the boy from New York City. Manfred Mann, number one. That was such a great song. I still love it. And then let's see, 1970. I'll be there. The Jackson Five. Five, not Michael, the five. Um, then in 81, now we're getting out of my league, right? So I don't see that Marlene is here, but she would sing this one for you. Christopher Cross, number one was the Arthur's theme, the best that you can do. I think it was from the movie Arthur. I did see the movie, and probably if I heard this song, I'd know what it was. Oh, I know what else I wanted to mention. 1939, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Classic movie that if you haven't seen, you should see, with Jimmy Stewart. It's political. It's political. It's the good guy fighting the bad guys and going to Congress. It's awesome. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. All right. Today's word art, my friends. It kind of was inspired by last night's gala and what went on 50 years of learning at Tuvia.
Sorry, is that too loud?
Oh, somebody in the background is playing music. I can't. Oh, that's the best that I can do, that we can do. I have no idea what that music is in the background. It must be playing outside while I'm doing this recording for you. Yeah, thank you, Christopher Cross. Anyway, today's word art says that you, I'm pointing at you right now, you are the most important teacher that your child will ever have. We have a bazillion teachers in our lives. Some of them are brilliant and kind and loving, worth emulating. But the parents have the first shot at us. You have the first shot at your kids. And that's what gets imprinted. Use the power wisely. You have the power. So did they. Did they use it wisely with you? If not, learn from that. They taught you that, didn't they? Okay, kids. Indy, we're going to get in the car and head back to the desert now, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day here. I'm thinking it's a beautiful day in the desert. We have a couple of dogs and some chickens who are waiting to get fed. Till tomorrow, my friends. Have a fabulous rest of the weekend. Look, I'm leaning forward for you guys. Have a fabulous rest of the weekend. I will see you tomorrow back in the desert with a sip and a smile. Bye bye.